Hello there, guys. It's late. I don't actually know what time it is. I didn't actually check. Um, Welcome to my private home on my public live account. My public live account and my private account is two very different things. My private account needs to be completely cleared out, and my private account my public account needs to remain very visual, very public, very out there, very clear, and very precise about what I have to say tonight. So anyway, I have quite a lot to say to somebody out there. I don't know who it is, so please don't take this personally if you are not the person. But somebody who is watching my lives is the person in the emails constantly in my life for probably the last 7 years, and I have a feeling it's the same person. So unfortunately they've done it via email, which means social have already helped me fill this out to get the person's name. This is all ready for me to sign to get the person who is causing harassment in my life. I wish to show you something. I wish to remind you something. On the 17th of December, it was my birthday. I was 42. As you know, I do a clear out prior to my birthday, and I start in a new position in my life. I live every day as a new day. I wake up to sunrise. It's a new day. Yesterday is history. Yeah, so I get on with my day. I bless the Lord. I give thanks to the Lord. Sunrise, I shut down. I spend time in my private life, and I get on with my life. I have to work. I'm a mum. I'm a partner. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a niece. I'm a grandmother. And, you know, the most important thing is I'm a mother of 7 children. 7 children that deserve justice, because at the end of the day, every time these assessments are done on me, it's not me the paperwork is written on. The paperwork is written on my children, and this annoys me more than anything. So anyway, for my birthday, I wanted to do something. Every year I do something that I have never done that pushes me even further, to make me even stronger, harder, faster than I've ever been, to be the person that I want to choose to be, the person that isn't reactive and is proactive and does what I love and enjoy, and my children are thriving and we're happy and we're healthy and we're living true to our core values. That's very difficult to do in a world that makes you conform to the ways of the world. Now anyway, I chose to do something, but obviously there was high risk to me doing this because of the coronavirus lockdown at the hospital where I was born. So let me just remind you of something. I'm just throwing up.
2 secs. Please, you just bear with me. Because I've just gone into a little bit of shock. That everything that I've been saying is more true than we could have ever imagined. So I've been completely thrown out of sync today, but I am actually at St Mary's Hospital, and it's dead, and it's completely locked down. And also my EDS has kicked in on me because of the level of stress I've been under this morning, and also
Oh, it won't work. I was trying to put it somewhere.
stage fright has just kicked in, which means I have to be physically sick and have diarrhea. So right now I stood here with my legs crossed, literally needing to shit the bricks, as they say, and actually explosive diarrhea, which comes with stage fright, as I have, which is why I am not a performer, I'm not a professional. But I'm going to come on and off because I'm going to do this. But guys, watch this. Watch.
That's A&E. Well, our version of it at this particular hospital, QA is the formal A&E. This is the treatment centre.
Where everybody go? I thought we had some fucking pandemic on that you're all on
And
lockdown.
don't forget it's Sunday as
Even
well,
I
but it's
see
usually
Byron's
busy.
on top there now. So anyway, I can't actually get in. So I've stood here. I had to come on live because I was born at 2:20. So I'm here at St Mary's, and I was born here. Hang on. I was born. You see that old building there? So I was born in there. So I'm going to attempt to get up there. I'm going to negotiate my way into this. I have my trousers. I've got red tapes on them. I have a red tape for my mask. I have red tapes that are going to be bounded all the way around me for this, which is going to symbolise from literally being born. I have been wrapped in red tape, and I am now at the point that this red tape is strangling me, and I need to be cut free from this red tape. So I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. The other thing is I have been let down by the person who was going to do my film.
So anyway, let me remind you what has led to basically reports started. I look so tired. I haven't slept since this has happened because this has been going on since, when is it? The 15th of December. And basically this is all over Christmas tree coming from bloody storage and putting boxes away and bullshit like that. So I'm really fucking tired and exhausted. We all are here over it. So anyway, Kelly being Kelly and doing things the way that I do, this is basically what I did, and I'm going to actually see if I can just play it all because, you know, basically this has caused for emails that have caused potentially me to go to court now because they've even actually been worse than social workers. It's fucking ridiculous. Like if you're gonna send emails in about me, at least fucking type the truth and facts. Don't fabricate things and don't disinformation things because, you know, even if you were being called as a witness, you'd just be unreliable and untrustworthy because you can't even, you know, relay things back to a true form. Isn't it lucky it's on video? This is my public account, mate. If I didn't want it out publicly, I wouldn't. And if I wanted to be on the phone to the police, I would have been ringing them. Like, really? So, anyway, this is what it was all over and what it was all about. And help us get these out because when social look at my my YouTube one, they go, oh, this hasn't really got many views. But I'm on complete lockdown because of Bill Gates. So you have to physically go in and do it. Why is it fucking does my laptop in? This does my head in. Oh yeah, and people are having a go at me at my time. Well, it's because my kids are in bed. There's no man here. If there was a man here, mate, do you think I'd be on my live? Let's go back into who I nick my internet from, and I literally do nick my internet from. Can I just remind you something a minute? Be careful. You don't know the big picture of everything going on. Like, Dean's been a campaigner much longer than me, mate. Way much longer than me. 1994, growing up with Spiral Tribe at Reclaim the Streets and Never Stopping, squats, breaking squats, £1 Million homes, graffitiing, blah, 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 DJ, what do you expect? You know, so anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel if you don't actually know about my YouTube channel, because I'm here on Crackbook and then over on Twitter because this plays over there. But as you can see, I'm gagged and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, this is what I went to do. This is how gagged I am. You look out the videos, size of the videos that go up. Oh, seriously, you do my fucking tree and like, please tell me I don't have to reset you again. Like, see how low my views go down, like mental. Being how long I've been here, what I do, some of the stunts I pull. Here we go. Right, so this is basically what I did. For those that haven't seen, for those that have seen and are bored shitless of it, then cut off. For those that haven't seen, this is the maternity ward, sexual health and mental health, and I'm in the middle by the lifts. I was going to do it silently, but my headphones, I'm just literally just checking my headphones and trying to get it into my box, and I've just walked up, so I'm just sort of stretching and just pissing about for a bit, and also just letting them just leave me alone for a bit and just think, oh, you know, she's just whatever. So wait, the whole reason I did it. I really wish I could put my phone somewhere. No, if only I could just do that. You can watch it, but I'm going to go through my report in a minute and show you why I'm pissed off with this person. Just so you can see the YouTube title. But even bare where it is, you know, no shares, no pushes, nothing. People ain't interested, mate. They just want to be brainwashed. I can't get it in. I've got a pocket there, and it's changing the signal over. And it's annoying me, so I have to put the music on in the end, inside the hospital. Yeah, by the lifts. And then I come out and show you the entrance, and I've already shown you on the other video A&E and everything, and the treatment centre. All the wards were closed and everything. It's a Sunday, I get that, but I've been up there other times as well, which is why I sort of decided. But it's like, anyway, here she goes. Experiment. So this is what's caused all the mayhem in my life since my birthday. Thanks for ruining my birthday, people, that did. Saggy ass. Look at the upside down cross-ish. I don't care that it's gone wrong, I just care that I actually did it. I'm the only person in the hospital wearing a mask apart from theatre, by the way, in emergency. Remember, I've never heard the song, The Lord Just Picks What I'm Gonna Do. Let's go with it. I'm keeping it going because obviously I get pulled by security. Not masks or gloved.
I'm in the middle of maternity, sexual health for teenagers, and the psych unit.
I even went in and asked for charges. Most of the doors were locked. Only emergency maternity with 2 people on. Ward empty.
Actually might go. They might kick me out in a minute. Am I getting kicked out now? Yeah, just finishing up money and I'm off. I'll cut the bag and go. Here we go. I'm going to start going downstairs just to show you they know what I'm up to. They're on to me. So, follow me out, guys.
Bear with me. My arm is killing me, so bear with me. And bear with me. I mean, this has got me police and shit.
Follow me downstairs so I don't have to do a security. Happy birthday to me, guys. Born here.
Oh, shit.
42 years ago.
I wish 24. I dance all the way around Portsmouth like this. People are used to me.
Are you ready? Not finished yet. Stay with me, guys. Oh, my phone's playing up. Seriously, I need proper equipment and headphones and what have we got now? I didn't want my headphones on, that was the problem. Let me just get outside. But that was it. I was right in the middle of maternity, sexual health for children, and I want the other one that I just had, and mental health. Are you ready? I ain't finished yet.
Now I'm going to show you something as I cross the threshold out.
It means that my charger is going. Are you ready? Ready? Dead. Absolutely dead in there.
Watch the nurses coming in and out in a minute.
Ah, phone in the shoe. Red cape in the shoe.
Ready?
Don't wear them. Don't wear them yet. Hopefully you're still with me. Fuck knows why I'm doing this, but I think some people might get it. The hospital is empty. I'll take this in the other
Well, not
one.
literally
They might cut
empty,
my
but you
internet.
know what I mean. There's certainly not worth people losing their lives over it.
I'm trying to. Here we go. Come on. I really haven't got much battery, so come on with me. Hold me.
Perfect when my phone
tight.
goes in a
Take me to
minute.
the other side of the road. Get a better signal before maybe. I can sit right on the stripe. Hopefully I got better signal.
I'm trying to use 2 phones, unfortunately, but bear with me. It will show you something in a minute.
Hopefully hopefully you're all still with me. You're on 0 battery, by the way, guys.
I'm getting
Your
away
battery
with doing
actually ran out
something.
already. So the Lord is holding you in there right now, somehow. Right, are we still on this? It might stay Wi-Fi. Oh, no.
Remember, I'm at St Mary's Hospital here in Portsmouth, where I was born on my birthday.
Don't waste me around right now.
This is what's caused a lot of what I'm going to read on the report in a minute.
Right, that's my Wi-Fi gone. Here we go. It's going to come out. Do you see a car park, guys? It's empty.
So I'm going to move away and I'm going to show you something.
Sign into the network. Hopefully you're still there. Should have maybe cut you out and come back in.
Because don't forget you can't film.
Welcome to Wi-Fi. Welcome back.
And stay with me because obviously I get intervened by security, so I've had to do this. I don't have to do it,
I've got issues again. I've always got fucking issues.
so I don't need the shit.
Those who don't know, it's EBS for Awareness Month, and I'm doing this for all us that get abused by the system. It's over. And you're fucking good physio afterwards, so hopefully didn't give me a massage. Right, we'll just move over there to get the signal.
Alright, there you go. It's a car park. It's all parking spaces in a car park. Just bear with it because it's like I'm going to read this thing in a minute and I'm going to bugger off. Let me see if I can speed it because I'm trying to sort my charger out.
Right, I'll do it again. I'll go with the Lord, mate. You ready? Remember, it's not scripted. I've never listened to this song before. I'm not a pro. The mum with anger issues. Anyway, you've seen what I'm like. You get told off now. My birthday, here we go. We've got security here. I thought we knew we would. Hello there, guys. I knew we would. Say hello.
No mask, no gloves.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I was born here.
Is there a reason why you're here?
Yes, I'm dancing for my birthday.
Okay, can you not record here, please?
Oh, well, it is. It's done. So, there you go.
Is there another reason why you're here?
Yes, because I was abandoned, neglected and abused, and I was suing the arse out of this hospital. So I thought today I'd come and do it a different way and maybe raise some funds. Because you come out, I'm not going to bother. Anyway, we are still here, guys. I can't be moved off the public thing. I'm going to carry on. Obviously, they don't want me filming because it's completely empty. I'm going to carry on. I've done what I needed to prove. I said I would come out until security came out. I'm staying here. He's just gone in completely scratching his back. I can't get signal on here, so I have no music. Basically, they could call the police, and I really don't need to be sexually detained or arrested right now, which is basically what is happening to people like me with any form of evidence. I'm going to do a CCTV on there to try and put it up. I'm recording me, I'm not recording the hospital. So, there you go. I'm going to stay with you until it's done. And if the music comes on here, and then if not, I will stay on that phone. But basically, unscripted, undone, in the hallway up there, where I was born. It's not good, it's not clever, there's no energy because I was too worried and too stressed over stuff like that. I'm not in the mood for it. That's absolutely nothing. When I let myself go, and I let myself go, it's something that is way, way, way beyond anything that any person has ever seen, because I don't ever let anybody see it. And the reason I don't let anybody see it is because there's nothing I can do with it. Like,
Bear with me because it's important. I just wrap to the end, I'm afraid.
I'm not pro, and I don't plan to.
I'm going to start getting my report and everything.
I don't know, like dance artists, things like that. At the end of the day, syndrome woman who
I'm just trying to find something quickly.
failed by the medical. Oh, hang on, I'll move. I've got a live on. Shout. Just want to move away from anyone's voices coming on. This is why I think I should have a T-shirt on that says whether I'm living or whether I'm not. So
Right, just bear with me.
basically, I was born here 42 years ago. I should have been diagnosed with my condition, and I wasn't. Had I been diagnosed as a baby, I wouldn't have had half of the problems, even an inch of the problems
Oh, I've just found it.
I have had. And maybe I would have been a pro dancer, or maybe I could be a pro dancer because of EDS. But what I need is a specialist physio team, specialist training team. Oh, by the way, every single one of those nurses and people that just come out just hand sanitised at the door. And actually, they didn't even do it properly. They just shoved the hand up and ran out. So I said to the hospital prior to going in, because obviously I've just had to break into the hospital to do it. So I did say I was going to go and do it. I have come and done it. It's not as pro as I would have liked it. I haven't shown you to the level. It was completely freaking improvised and stopped, and also obviously.
Remember, this is not live. You're watching my telly for a reason.
If I could have carried on, I would have done. If I could have got my phone up, I would have done. I can't believe that my phone is actually still holding because my battery is gone. So, Amber, you might have to let Dean know I'm on my way back, so he knows. I think he's trying to do all the kids' banners and all of that, so he wants to know when I'm walking in, stressing out about certain numbers and things, and that's great. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to spending some time with Dean. I'm hoping to get down to the beach. I need to go home and charge. I can't believe I didn't bring my phone charger.
Now, that was what was meant to happen, but it didn't, did it? Thanks to people sending the police, not just the police, but many, 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 many police over the consecutive hours and days.
You know, it's about,
which I'm going to read in a minute.
Health, isn't it? It's about thriving. It's not about living in a society that says, if you've got a physical condition, can you wipe your own arse, of which I did have to go and have the diarrhea and the shits and stuff quickly. That was really cool. And can you cook your own dinner, and can you get out of bed? And that's pretty much all this country is looking at in comparison to people with physical conditions. They're not looking at their gift zones and where the problems is. For someone like me, it's just that I never know if I'm going to be reliable, because like this morning I was kicking off because I'd fucked my hip up. And I literally did. I pulled my hip out last night trying to get the bits out of the bin, and you know, and my shoulders are playing up and all this sort of stuff. And also knowing I was going to walk, I was going to ride Dean's bike up, and I thought, well, if I ride Dean's bike up, in the time that I get up there, the muscles in my legs are going to be burning, and I'm probably not going to be able to do this. And I was expecting to do a lot more today, because I did have something sort of in my head of what I was trying to do, but I think it just completely threw me that the hospital was so dead. Like, I sort of at least expected to see it as normal, as busy as normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still people sort of going in, and I know it's a Sunday and all that sort of stuff, but that's not the point. You know, it's that you people are losing their homes, people are losing their mortgages, people are losing careers, people have worked hard to climb to the top of the ladders that somebody else is going to come in when things are different. And you know, at the end of the day, yes, okay, I love futuristic stuff. I love where this world is going. But they're basically telling you that you've got to stand at your window on a Thursday, thanks Dan, stand at your window on a Thursday or a Wednesday or whatever the fuck it is, and clap for these people who are all being absolute heroes and saving people from this absolute peak of people dying and everything. Yet the hospitals are closed. I haven't been up to, they could say, well, we're just closed down and they've all gone up to Queen Alexander's. Well, I know people who work at Queen Alexander's, and they're being told they've moved over to Southampton. Well, there was a lovely painting given to Southampton, and it's dead at Southampton too. So at the end of the day, guys, you've got to sit there and go, have I been fined in the whole time I've been out? No. Have I been arrested? No. Have I been moved off the beach? Yes. Have I done, on a car? Yes. Have other people been intimidated and bullied? Yes. If you are socially gathering, what? To pass on a virus that the hospitals are empty. So that was the point of me coming down. It's my birthday. I wanted to see if I could do something. All right, it's not as great as it was. I will watch the video back and see if there was anything worth sort of saying, yeah, Kelly, you might as well do something with this. I want to try and get onto the ropes and do something even bigger and better and get there to work on my core and my health. who knows what I could achieve on it. I'm 42, I can do anything I like. I've got more maturity about me now that means I don't have to worry about what people think, and I don't have to worry, you know, whether somebody's better or not better or whatever, because I'm in competition with nobody. I just want to be the best version of me. I just want to try to do the best I can with me in everything that I do. Running my house, being a mum, being a wife, you know, being the best version of everything, my skating, my dancing and everything. So, you know, a lot has been taken away from me over the years. A lot has been taken away, you know, and I want to restore all of that here now. And that's why I wanted to come down to where I was born.
And then the devil came in.
I wanted to do it.
Nah, I'm going to introduce you to the devil's work now.
To be able to do what I really, really would have loved to have been able to have done.
So, just to remind you guys that my name might be Kelly Cotton, but this is the Samuel family. We're not actually together in that photo, by the way, guys. We just went out for Father's Day, and it was D-Day, not the D-Day before Trump was here, and someone just offered to take a photograph. We're not actually even a couple. We just actually just let the boys have a day out with Mum and Dad and had a really lovely day, and then come back to a load of shit from you guys. But look. So, anyway. Welcome to my boudoir. Oh, my knees hurting me, by the way. So, obviously, it's got Hannah's details. These forms have actually changed since the last time I had a core assessment done, which was literally only 2 years ago, when I was unlawfully detained, unlawfully sectioned, and Elijah was unlawfully removed, and I was assaulted while pregnant with Shiloh, and Elijah was assaulted by a police officer. I got Elijah back within 5 days, all done through the ICPC upheld complaints for an unlawful and unnecessary detainment. Exactly the same as Faith and Aaron. I won in an ICPC upheld complaint, 36 upheld complaints in the matter of Aaron and Faith. Their conclusion in the relation to Aaron and Faith was it would be an injustice to do the officers at this time because people would not remember the correct facts. I said, we've got to live this for the rest of our lives. I'm sure we can remember the correct facts. Every time you see a government official, a state agent of the state, they class themselves as individual people who, it's a job, they get up, they go to work, they have family, friends, blah, 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 they have lives. It's a job, it's a career, it's a vocation, it's something that when they were at school, you sit there in your, when you're about 14 and you go and have a look at what sort of work experience you want to do, and then you choose sort of what college you go to, and then what university you go to, and these people go through to this brainwashing called education, and within this unit it's all controlled by what's called the DSM-5, and it's controlled by Maslow's hierarchies of needs. But unfortunately, social workers are not qualified in psychology, judges are not qualified in social work or psychology or any other matter related to any of that. And these particular social workers, take Hannah, I've got a surname here, but take Hannah for example. Hannah is only young, early 20s, no children. I don't know her relationship status. I don't know her family status. They ask you to share a lot of information with them, yet they share nothing with you. Now, a social worker's name, telephone number, blah, 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 blah. And then it's classed as a RCPC. I don't actually know what that means now. I need to double check what an RCPC is. I assume that is something. Oh no, yeah, Child Protection Conference. Yeah, categories of Child Protection Conference, basically. So anyway, when the first day, so it doesn't matter whether it's a neighbour who rings on concerns of you. It doesn't matter whether you self-report, and it's not even about self-reporting, is it? Okay, so let's go back. Why do people go to social services? Well, people go to social services because there's a gap in between where they are and where they want to be, and a frustration that's occurring that needs, and the bow's about to break. And they reach out to either a GP or any particular services. We here in the UK, and I don't know how it is in every country around the world, but I can only talk on a UK perspective. I'm here in the UK, I'm here in Portsmouth. This is currently Portsmouth City Council. I've pretty much resided under Preston City Council for the majority of my time under adult social care. Went to university, blah, 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 blah. Then I moved to Flintshire, where I tried to change over an indicative budget. What is an indicative budget? Basically, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome means that I've already in my body, because when I was born here in Portsmouth, which is why I did that video here, I wasn't treated as an EDS child, which meant that my main neck down to my base of my coral spine has never actually formalized properly, so it has what's called permanent subluxations, and I have about 94 of these. I dislocate, sublux, I have no muscle structures. I've shown you. Whatever. So anyway, basically as a mother, and not just as a mother, as a person, I have what's called an emergency plan. I have what I call the traffic light system. So I'm on a green day, everything is cool. I'm never on what you would consider a normal day. I'm always on a typical EDS day. A typical EDS day starts immediately with pain and ends with pain. It doesn't go away. You're born with it. You don't get a break from it. It's 24/7. You wake with it, you live with it, you walk with it, you talk with it. You don't get to sit down and have a coffee with someone and say, hey, can I turn it off for a second just so I can have a chat? As I'm talking to you live, my jaw is going. You know, it was broken by the paramedics when I ended up in A&E with a potential, still unconfirmed, because I keep being sent for laying down scans, told there's nothing wrong, when every single American doctor is telling the UK we need upright MRIs and you're failing your EDS community, and they don't fucking listen. So anyway, I was first ever taken in with my neck when I was about 18 years old, about 6 months after breastfeeding Liam. With EDS people, we produce more and more prolactin, which means our bodies become more what I call the little floppy things. We don't reproduce collagen. There's a default in our collagen. It's something that is genetic. My mum has it. My kids have it. I didn't know about it when I was born. My mum didn't know about it. You know the story, blah, 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 blah. I wasn't diagnosed till I was 22, and I had 22 years of wrongful diagnosis, which we used to take Aaron and Faith. So that's 22 years of wrongful diagnosis that actually I haven't done anything wrong. I was an EDS person telling the truth all the way through school, all the way through college, all the way through university, all the way through my family life, all the way through my life. I was always telling the truth. So basically, from the moment I was born with a cord wrapped around my neck, and I was cesarean sectioned, and when I was removed, I wasn't removed in the correct way, and because I was what's classed as an abandoned baby, which basically means I wasn't latched onto my mum's breast because she was only 16. My mum was given the pill. There was no support in for my mum. I was basically just thrown into a crib. I was jaundiced, EDS, Asperger's, obviously would have had high sensitivity to the lights in the area, and I believe and have been told, and records have shown, that I was a squealing, quite agitated baby that they were testing to see whether my mum was on drugs. I don't know whether this is true. I don't know whether the results were done. I don't know what the speculation was, because at the end of the day, I was an EDS baby in a lot of pain. Now, until I was 22, I never ever got any help. The only reason I got help when I was 22 was because I had had 2 pregnancies. Well, I had 3 pregnancies. Social services terminated my first pregnancy when I was 15 due to medication and experimental drugs, because I was in foster care, and they were trying to see why I was having so much bowel problem and why I had all these problems and what was going on and blah, 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 blah. And they were changing my diet and putting me on steroids and blah, 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 and antidepressants. I had been put onto all of this sort of stuff from pretty much the age of 14, and taking overdoses at the end of each week, storing up medication that I didn't want to take, and then going to sleep and waking up and wishing that I wouldn't wake up because I was sick and tired of the pain. I would even store my mum's meds. I would even store any other meds. And I literally used to down all of these meds. And I used to vomit waking up in the morning. My mum used to basically call me a silly cow. When I was 17, I took an overdose again. I ended up in a psych unit on my own in another ward and left alone yet again in so much pain. I then went on to have Liam, and I couldn't carry Liam full term. My waters broke and I gave birth to Liam premature, and Liam was born with a cleft. I was married to his father, who was in the army. We had great support from the army. So I've seen a different side of state social care and army social care, what's called the welfare system. So I've seen how they deal with it to how social services deal with it. Now, when I was 18, I was breastfeeding my son in the car while my nan was running into her brothers when we were in London. And when my nan come back, I was screaming in pain and my son had slipped down the side from me. And I was trying to grab hold of him, and I can remember like trying to stare with my eyes at my nan to say, get my son, and I was trying to do things, and I genuinely couldn't move. And every time I tried to move, the pain, it was so fucking severe, it was unbelievable. But obviously I was taken off in an ambulance, my son was with my nan, and then next thing I know, my mum, blah, 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 blah. I was taken off to a psych unit classed as having a conversion disorder because of the records that show that I was a sexual abuse victim, and they'd said that my body has finally shut down. They were sticking needles in my feet, I couldn't move. I wanted to hit them. I wanted to fucking slam them against a fucking brick wall. They were absolutely really hurting me. They were moving my body around, but I couldn't respond. I went to my blessing, funny enough. I was a bit wobbly, a bit numb, blah, 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 blah. Back and forwards on medications, but back and forward with people dealing with me as a psych patient, all while carrying physical pain and injury. Still playing netball, trying, struggling, injures, blah, 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 rowing with family, people telling me that I'm lying, attention seeking, there's nothing wrong with me. Every time I try to show somebody, they just say, So anyway, I then am pregnant with Daniel. I go into hospital at 29 weeks, hemorrhaging in full-blown labour. I'm given steroid drugs. I'm on a drip, and I'm basically on hospital bed rest to the point that I completely balloon like something out of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Augustus Gloon, or whatever his name is. And, seriously, it just triggered me off with some other shit that went on at that time. Yeah. That will come out later, Graham. So anyway, Nursey likes to fuck my husband while I'm in labour. All come out in the book. It all comes out in the wash in the end, doesn't it? Bite my bite my lip as long as I like. I'll forever doing it. Seriously, I'll cause myself injuries at the top because I'll bite on the inside in here as well. I wish I wouldn't, because I've got a vein in here as well. If I would pop that vein, it'd be lethal. And I'll face plant a lot with my fucking skates, which is not funny. I've really got to watch my tooth because it's on my last post now and it's completely shining through. So this is all EDS related stuff. So at the end of the day, EDS affects my entire body. It affects my heart, it affects my organs, it affects my bowels. I vomit. I'm very nauseous. I'm high sensitive because of other matters, and I've got triggers and traumas. So being with someone like me is a massive big sacrifice. A massive big sacrifice. It involves cracking my ankles in the morning. It involves making sure that my knees work. It involves making sure lots of many things. And also having children that are 50-50 chance of having this. Up until Daniel, I wasn't diagnosed. We didn't know. We didn't know about the boys. Liam was born with a dislocated shoulder. It was Liam. I got pulled in by social care when I was 17, 18 years old for Liam falling to the side, not pulling onto his shoulder. And it was me that was trying to tell them that when I was giving him a toy to his right arm, He was falling down to the side. She suggested I went to the doctors. By the time I got to the doctors, there was already CP and everybody all ready to fucking fly in. And my doctor went, whoa, 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 hang on. There is a massive fucking history with this family. We need to wait and see. It wasn't until we got to Northern Ireland and I was sitting in the consultant room with Graham, who was my second ex-husband when I was 20. And he's an ODP, so he worked in operating theatre at Musgrave Park Hospital in Northern Ireland, Lisbon. And I was sitting with one of the consultants and he said, have you seen this article? He said, it is so fucking similar to what you talk about when we're in here. Now, it hadn't clicked with me that when I was 15, my mum had told me that she had had EDS in her feet because she had flat feet and I had flat feet, and maybe it was something that I should look into. In an email, my mum had said, well, I should have done my own research. I was 15. Hence why I put myself in foster care. I just couldn't cope with her anymore. So anyway, when we were at Belfast Royal Hospital, which is in Northern Ireland, the consultant looked at it and said, well, of course. And there and then, me and Liam and Daniel were diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, classical. Because I have thin, big lips, because I have rubber lips. And the first sign of vascular is thin lips, but I have no earlobes, which is a classical sign of vascular. Also the veinage on and a lot of other things, tendons and things like that, and the internal organs. So I bleed from my bowels, I bleed from my throat, I bleed from my ears, I bleed from my nose. I only have to, actually got a squidgy nose, so I can actually push my nose down. But if I only have to, like, with the kids fucking nut me or face fucking plant, Dean clutches me when we're playing pong tongs, he only has to skin me up with my freaking hat, you know, then I would, like, Daniel's the same, just nosebleeds galore. I vomit a lot. If I cough, I have vocal cord dysfunction, which is part of it. And basically nothing is really in line with me. Absolutely nothing. So when Aaron was born, I was diagnosed. When I got together with Stephen, I told him I was diagnosed. I told him to read the paperwork. I went through the paperwork with him. I helped him understand what would happen for the first sort of 6 to 18 months after giving birth to a baby and also during pregnancy. In the maternity world, that makes me a high-risk pregnancy. So therefore, it's treated as a high-risk pregnancy, but because it was the unknown and people don't communicate with different councils and the EDS world is private and it's private funded, the NHS doesn't have the budget for private. So nobody commutes. Everybody has to learn off the internet. Most of the internet learning comes from people like myself and many others that talk about it on awareness months. We're not in awareness month now. But yet again, these people have failed yet again. Hence why when she dropped this report off, she didn't come in like she was meant to do. Because thanks to another person out there, he'd sent me something just in time. And 3 hours before she was dropping this off, I sent a text with a legal status for committing perjury. Also, I'd also informed them that on the basis that 2 years ago, there was an upheld ICPC complaint. When they first bring these reports in, they have to say what their previous last involvement with you was. Now, they switched the chair on me. So back at the beginning, I have to go and sit in a child protection conference. Now, I've had the same chair all the way through from when I first did come to Portsmouth with Elijah, and we were signed off. We loved them dearly. We had a lovely coffee, and everything was great. We went off to Bulgaria, and everything was fantastic. Dean and I were thriving. We were doing really well. We were shifting washing machines, fridge freezers, just for getting us off on our feet and stuff like that. It was very funny and very amusing while pregnant me, EDS, moving washing machines and fridge freezers and tumble dryers. So basically, and of course we'd started all the crisis with Christmas, and we were over at the dance studio, we were over at the things, and we were moving forward knowing this was just a base and we were going to get out of here. And then when we went to move, there was a challenge because the rent is always in arrears. So the landlord was like, you're in arrears. And I said, well, I'm not in arrears. I'm just in the fact that I'm on universal credits, which is monthly, and they're on 2 weekly, so that's all it is. So anyway, then go back to what I was saying about Aaron. I hemorrhaged with Aaron. I hemorrhaged to the level that I had a transfusion. I was with his father, Stephen, at the time. Liam and Daniel went to their father's as they did every other weekend and twice in the week. Liam had backed out a bit because he stayed at home with me because obviously I was in what was considered a DV relationship with Stephen, and he decided to stay remaining with me. 3 strikes, Stephen was out. The first time I called the police brought him back, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, Stephen and I had not been together since Aaron was 5 months old and I was pregnant with Faith, because he did the same. He said, who's father? And then moved on to another woman. So anyway, he had chose to have nothing to do with his so-called daughter that wasn't his, and his son that he wasn't too sure. Both the children are his. So anyway, because I was a single mum and I was pregnant with Faith, my health visitor did what was called a team around the children to make sure that while I was in hospital giving birth to Faith, that there was a team around children to make sure that for all of the time that I was in hospital, we knew it was going to be 48 hours immediately, because I was being induced a month early with Faith to prevent a further hemorrhage, and I have an injection that stops me bleeding. And I was a high-risk pregnancy, so I'm caged into the system. I have never had a problem with the system. I have always felt supported and loved in that way when they're trying their best. And thanks to Royal Preston Hospital, Faith came into the world beautifully, hence why she was called Faith, and training people and everything. It was beautiful. When I came home to a double buggy from a gift from my friends from the church. When I came home, I came back to, christenings and garden parties, and my children were celebrated. Aaron and Faith were celebrated. They were celebrated by my friends. They were celebrated by my community. They were not celebrated by my family. My family left me hemorrhaging with nothing more than my pastor next to me as I was having a transfusion, begging him to tell me whether our faith and belief allow for transfusions and whether this was okay because it was coming from Manchester, and whether I was going to start speaking like a Mancunian. So, and Stephen vacated me as well. And it was my son's birthday, as in my oldest son's birthday, a couple of days later, and I still decorated the hospital. I'm a good person, people. I'm a good person. I've got a kind heart, and I know this, and people know this. So anyway, with good intentions and everything like that, you always get a slap in the face. You always have cheerleaders and you always have vampires. For the amount of you that are my cheerleaders, this isn't many vampires. In fact, this seems to be coming from 1, maybe 2 particular people. So let me bring this back, that this was a high-risk pregnancy, everything was okay, shut down, blah, 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 blah. I then had what was called an indicative budget in place, which meant that I had somebody come in for an hour. I employed them. I put out the advert. I wasn't allowed my original advert. Apparently it was racist. It's not racist. To say that I want a big mambo mama, super nanny, Nanny McPhee, Miss Doubtfire, blah, 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 kick my fucking ass person who's like the chief of my home, is nothing wrong with that. So, but apparently that was racist. So anyway, I ended up with a very dear friend who's probably watching now, so I won't name her because she's a personal friend still, even though we don't see each other anymore since Aaron and Faith were taken. But lives have taken different paths. But anyway, she came in for an hour in the morning, and she came in for an hour and a half in the afternoon, and she came in for 2 hours on a Monday morning. On a Monday morning for 2 hours, it was to blitz and straighten everything up after the weekend, make sure everything was done, boom, 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 boom. The hour in the morning was to basically make sure that I was up, everything was right, she was meant to be getting all the things in place, blah, 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 blah. This is when I had Aaron and Faith, and I also had this when I had Liam and Daniel. Liam and Daniel grew up in kids' carers. So that's how I know half the people here from kids' carers. Hello to all the kids' carers people that are here. And one of our dear friends who from kids' carers runs a stillborn support group for people who obviously have to say goodbye to their children. Let me just plug my charger in, and probably, seriously, I've really hurt my hip. My hip is killing me. I'm going to end up having to have a plate on for a bit. I know it when I finally do get to the hospital. They are going to brace me up for a bit. I know it. Let me just get my munchies. These are fucking roasting. Seriously, how many people absolutely love these? They are fiery as fuck. Absolutely roasting. And you just have to eat more and more and more and more. Give me a second. So, basically, I'm not high risk to children. my body is a high risk giving birth. However, on this multi-agency system, the word doesn't really means a different thing to each person, doesn't it? High risk to probation means a different thing. High risk to a police officer means a different thing. High risk to a teacher means a different thing. High risk to my doctors and maternity people mean a different thing. High risk to children social services means a different thing. High risk to adult social care means a different thing. High risk to my GP means a different thing. High risk to you means a different thing. High risk to me means a different thing. I'm a high risk. Shoot me. Put me down. Shoot me like a horse. So anyway, I also have what's called an emergency plan in the event that I go into A&E. I have also overcome cervical cancer, by the way. So you don't particularly want your children in a room with you when a doctor's got his hands up in between your vagina and you've got a silver thing up it and you're having lasers and co-coagulations and everything. So childcare for a mother in those situations would be very appropriate, wouldn't it? So anyway, because I was such a high risk after hemorrhaging, my doctor had forewarned me that I should terminate my pregnancy with Faith because I wouldn't be able to cope with it. Potentially death for both of us. I decided to go through with this because I have faith, not fear. And obviously with the right support, my daughter Faith came into the world. Very much loved girl. All my children are very loved by me and their fathers and their families. Very loved. Anyway, I couldn't at the time, given the material things that were needed to help them grow. So I decided to become a self-employed mum rather than sit on my ass on the benefits, whinge about it. You know this to be true because my press release in Chorley Guardian, Leyland and Lancashire made it national. However, they slated me. I then crew, as I do every year from 2007. No, in 2007 it was a different company. When we come back in 2009, it was Success Resources. Bill Clinton's spoken on there, by the way. I've looked after Bill Clinton before. Donald Trump. Bill Gates. Not on their platform. When I say looked after, I mean I'm part of a crew team that makes sure they get on the stage on time. Speak. Do what they got to do. Make their money. Fuck off. Some we see personally, some we hold hands, some we high five, some we personally meet and greet, some I've personally interviewed. And there are recordings on all of it, so I'm not a conspiracy theorist. On May the 11th, May 17th, funny enough, my birthday, I got first class to Virgin to go to London, stayed in a hotel, and looked after Richard Branson's team. No. That's not the time that I went down. That's the time that I went down when I had £1.50. I went down the other time when I was looking after Anthony Robbins. We broke into the room with Richard Branson because it was the first time I went in there. And I crewed the following year. Because I used to do Success Resources with Tony Robbins, Kevin Green, a couple of other people, and women. I've got books signed by, what's her face, Christine Hamilton. Quite an interesting conversation with Neil Hamilton. There's evidence on all of it. It's not about ego. It's not about pride. It's about saying this is where I was. And this is what it's led to. And this is what's happened. And also, I mean, look at this. My bank card got shut down last night for no reason apparent. And I got this to say that my car tax hasn't come through, been paid when there's money in my bank. Not much. And it's not going to last me, but there's money in my bank. So anyway, I've got my bank card sorted. Absolute sugared shit. Total sugar shit. I'm addicted to relentless and shit like that. Like, absolutely addicted to it. Oh, my mouth's on fire. So anyway, I then transferred it to Flintshire. And as you know, it went completely wrong. So since then, I have then been classed as somebody that is faking EDS to the point that I'm faking it in my children, I'm faking it in me. That means my mental health must be so fucked. So anyway, when the first report comes in, that gets passed over. Not the fact that I was an EDS mother with a high-risk pregnancy. The stuff from Faith and Aaron. And then it gets open again. And then it gets open again, and then it gets open again. Now with this one, it got opened with the previous one, which was the ICPC one. When I was in the chair meeting, I said, look, if the actual chair was here, she would close this immediately based on the fact that it's a closed down case and an upheld complaint, which means the information was incorrect. Rewind. So you can't actually use that information. So anyway, I'm now heading into the final child protection conference, which will either close or roll over. Thanks to you people, you've probably just sent me to court. Risks. What significant harm has children or children expected? Overcrowding, but we know this. Children's accessible to interact with other children. We're on fucking lockdown. Exposure to parental conflict, not parental violence, parental conflict. Exposure to Miss Cottom's poor emotional regulation. Now that is from the previous one. They're not allowed to do this. The psychiatrist turned around and said, the mother is stressed and it is you people stressing her out. In her normal current situation, she's not like this. She is only under anxiety and duress stress when put under the pressure of the fear of removal of her children by police or social services. You are the only two people who agitate her. She works well with the system. She talks blah, 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 blah. So, anyway. Is the harm reducing? What is working well? Children's social care have seen little change with regards to conflict that Shiloh and Elijah have been exposed to between the parents, which result in 2 police call-outs. Now, let me double check and confirm this. Actually, Dean's very quiet, very laid back. He just sits and spends time with his kids. He's very shy. He takes a long time to come out of his shell. He doesn't like to be public. Shouldn't have got with a bloody social media blogger. That was really stupid. And actually, he wants the confidence to come on, and we've been trying and things like that. But anyway, he spends time with his boys. As you know, Dean and I hadn't been together all this time, but he's been coming here to see his children, and we've been very amicable for the boys. I tend to flit around and leave him to be with the boys. He stays for a couple of days. He sees kids. At Christmas, we had decided that the only conflict in our life was being caused by people online. The fact that, okay, certain people aren't friends, but we spend time with. but not necessarily in line with the hobbies and interests that we want to do, and that's where our time and energy should be spent. And then obviously living here in this flat, we were meant to be moved after the last child protection. That's what was agreed. Move them. The reason they put us in the one-bedroom flat is because the housing officer turned around and said, we don't even know if you're keeping the kid yet. And this was back when I was pregnant with Elijah. Talk about gaslighting me. So anyway, let me continue where all their evidence comes from. Oh, and by the way, the only argument that Dean and I have, and it wasn't even an argument, literally the first report that opened up said, because literally Dean had only just got here. We'd said that we were going to spend Christmas together and New Year, and we were just going to run into the New Year and just set a plan out, New Year's resolutions. We were sorting out the New Year's party. He's a DJ, blah, 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 blah. So as you know, on the 13th of December, I decided to put the boxes from the Christmas tree that had been brought up from storage back down in the storage unit, clear out all the boys' stuff that had, you know, seen its time, prepare for Christmas, basically. Because the stuff was out in the hallway, we ended up with security. Security were videoing in. I've talked about it on the video earlier on today. As a result of that, that's fired off 2 social workers and 2 police officers. I said to them, stop saying that we, so really remember this and really think about this. Stop saying, let me read this sentence to you again, which has resulted in 2 police call-outs. When an out of hours child protection, when an out of hours call to social is done, the social workers have to attend with the police officers. So it's for their safety, so they can come through the door. So then we get penalised and we get tarnished and we get persecuted because the police are at the door when it's for them, not us. However, they could be coming through to any form of situation. I'm an EDS mother. That's it. What's a police officer going to do? Put a dislocation back in? Criminal. So anyway, addition now, this is where they have committed also another thing, but it said, now listen to this. This is because of you guys. Additionally, children's social care continue to be concerned with Miss Cottam's emotional presentation, and this has also been concerned to members of the community who watch Miss Cottam's online videos. It is positive that Miss Cottam is allowing social care to visit her home. These are the 3 people who are going to be tending the course, so they're not going for anything with my kids. There's no removal, there's nothing like that. It is just the health visitor, the social worker, and John Wright, who is the housing person who we saw in my life. So this is John cupping in now and going, John's going to kick their fucking asses at this meeting. He's going to kick their asses, he really will. So here is their evidence. Chronological of significant events since CP conference. Notice the date. Oh, so on the 24th of the 3rd, 2020, change of social worker. So they had the CP conference, and in order to do the next bit of it, another change of social worker. Oh, now this is you guys, by the way. So on the 27th of the 3rd, and by the way, the reason that I do my lives late at night is because I'm a mum, and I talk about things that are not necessarily appropriate with my boys. When I'm with my boys, I want to do more their activity stuff, more in line with us as a person. This social media page is me, my expression, skating, dancing, all that stuff. It's only because of what happened to me I now talk about this stuff. I didn't come out in the media to speak about my challenges. I came out as a businesswoman, and it's social services and the system's duty to protect the challenges that I have from everybody. So anyway, on the 27th of the 3rd, clearly, okay, I'm going to actually have to check back on these days. It's so funny. So Amber, take these dates. Concerns received from members of public regarding Miss Cottam's YouTube videos reporting she's clearly on drugs in the early hours of morning. No, actually, guys, remember, I'm in the UK, okay, so I'm on UK time. By the time it gets to late time and the kids are settled and I've tidied up the house and I can finally sit down, it's usually about 10 o'clock. Sometimes I'm then up late because I'm working on paperwork that's up the back there, or I'm trying to do something, or sometimes I'm up because it's fucking quiet and it's really peaceful, and most creatives wake up at 3 o'clock. Also remember, Amber is in Trinidad. Many of you, in fact, post and say what country you're in, where you are. to UK people, I don't want you up late at night, which is why I do want to go back to my proper routine of sunrise, sunset, memories in the middle. But this stuff is not appropriate for during the day, and it's really difficult on YouTube and on Crackbook to talk at a socially acceptable time about child trafficking, sexual abuse, blah 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 blah. But when I've got my children around, like John Woods will do a live during the day. Well, I can't listen to it during the day because it's too heavy. My boys are around. The energy changes. If you notice on my live earlier on, Elijah started hitting me before the social worker had even actually got out of the lift. Just the energy change of her coming up in the lift. He likes Hannah. He didn't at the beginning. He was very upset. My son's been very stressed out by the police coming into the door because of the way they treat his father. And it scares the shit that his father's going to be taken away from him. He also doesn't like the fact that if me and Dean do disagree, because at the end of the day, it's not easy for a couple to co-parent and not actually be sexually active, physically touch, affectionate and supportive to each other when you actually genuinely love each other. You just can't live together in a one-bedroomed house when one is a music producer and we have a verbatim. And the reason we got verbatim is after the first round with social, and it's not an experience Dean has, it's not a world that he's from. And he came home after we knew that Elijah was coming home with us and played music. We had the fucking all over us, verbatim, immediately. And it was like, fuck's sake, seriously, is this man like getting battering? So anyway, clearly I'm on drugs, people. I don't even drink. I like to be very in control of myself. I'm just very, 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 very tired. Very, very, very tired. Sometimes I have to go onto aloe vera. Sometimes I go onto cannabinoids. Sometimes I go onto melatonin. Sometimes I have a lot of sort of like herbal mixes and stuff. But in terms of chemicals, medication, anything like that, no, anything natural, nature all the way, mate. Nature all the way. Naturopath. I'm a naturopath. Alcohol is the devil's fucking dance. So anyway, on the 1st of the 4th, 2020, text received from mother advising that she does not give permission for virtual visits to be undertaken during COVID lockdown, advised that she's felt it was breach of her family life and compared it to bullying and rape. So basically, since the actual thing, so December 15th of December, absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Then they change over the social worker. And then literally we're coming into like COVID, and somebody then messages, because I'm saying videos about lockdown coming, blah, 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 space and stuff. And someone's like, yeah, the woman's clearly on drugs. So then on the 1st, COVID started and lockdown started. Now I wrote that message on the 8th of the 4th, change of social worker. 15th of the 4th, anonymous concerns raised by member of public with concerns that the family are living in appropriate home conditions, concerns for the mother's anger and emotional presentation online and concerns with regards to the children's development. My children are in bed. They're in the other room, they're in bed asleep. 27th of the 4th, 2020. Concerns raised by a member of public reporting Miss Cotton for posting things continuously on Facebook, believing the children are being neglected emotionally and educationally, as well as living in unsanitary conditions. Do you want to talk to my son about space, rockets? Do you want to talk about maths, English? Do you want to talk about science? What do you want to talk to my kids about? And in terms of my unsanitary conditions, do you want to come and do my ironing pile rather than fucking report me to social workers? And actually, that's not actually my ironing pile. That's mostly charity. And that's my boys' stuff up there. And the rest of it actually is very homely. I have beige. Look at my unsanitized beige with 2 boys. Oh, look. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, and look at my beautiful, beautiful sofa. I'm so fucking filthy, aren't I? Oh, seriously, I'm so filthy. My children is such an unsanitized home. What you see around there is tatty art and graffiti because it was meant to be an art project that's unfinished. And obviously up there is a bit chaotic. Look at my lovely unsanitized clean home. Would you like to see my children's writing desk? Look, this is, would you like to see, let me show you something. Oh, look at this mess. So unsanitary. Oh. Would you like to see my son's favourite book? Sits and reads it for hours. Earthquakes. Planet Earth. Under the Sea. Actions and Rhymes. That's from his fishing books. That's from his fishing. That's some stuff that we get involved in. Little bits that we do. Little bits that we do. Another one of his favourite books. Look. This is Elijah. Pandas. Little bits that we read. And then, of course, this is colouring pens. Look. You can actually see that they get done. Oh shit, I've just clicked my knee. And then this is his homework thing. But we've just actually messed up with one of the pens because we need to get some more of these pens, these washable ones, because otherwise he does it with marker. So basically this is Elijah. So if you want to have a go at me over his educational needs, then obviously we have other ones of these in numbers and things as well. Bongos for music time. My son plays the piano. That's both the boys and Elijah's piano, and they actually play the piano. Obviously over here is my little suits that I use for dancing. Look, there's just me sitting down with you. Look, oh my goodness, I got a fucking crisp packet on the floor. Wow, I've just eaten a packet of crisps. I got a coffee cup. Look, roller skates. Look, my children have Tonka trunks. So look, I mean, this is my little boudoir. So that's in response to your question, you know. And then what? Okay. So down here is all my paperwork and my office space. But look, you know, you have a go at me over my children's educational needs. We've just wiped this clean, ready for tomorrow. So obviously they've got the board here. My Hoover's here, ready to go through. But they've got this board. And we live by, you know, solutions. Another side of this over here. My children. So what is it you want to actually have a go at me? What? Because my children have drawn on the side and it's actually a marker and it's going to take me a bit longer. What? So should we carry on? So let me read that statement again. Anonymous concerns raised by a member of public were concerns that the family are living in inappropriate home conditions. Well, yeah, it's a one-bedroom flat. We know this, so speak to me. Even write a letter to help. Concerns for mother's anger and emotional and presentation online. What you mean is you're a fucking cunt. Yeah? Oh. Hence why I don't like to raise my voice or shout. Great emotional intelligence though, me, eh? Anyway, let's carry on. 27th of the 4th, 2020. Concerns raised by a member of the public reporting that Miss Cottam is posting things continuous on Facebook, believes that the children are being neglected emotionally and education as well as unsanitary conditions. 0405. Telephone conversation with adult social care who agreed to complete a care assessment as requested by Ms. Cottam. It's now what date and it still hasn't been done. And I actually asked for it because I'd had enough and when adult social services don't treat you like this. Carry on. On the same day. Telephone call from anonymous reporting Kelly concerns for mother's presentation during online video reporting that she is screaming and shouting like a maniac. Agreement to complete Adult Care Act assessment as requested by Kelly Cottam. On the same day. Received a member of the public reporting concerns of Ms. Cottam's presentation online videos. 15th of the 5th. Mother provided with a phone call by Children's Social Care after she reported that hers does not... Oh, this was my phone work consistently. My phone arrived. Right, now here we go, guys. Now, what is pissing me off is when we got back, Dean just basically just wanted to spend the day together, and I sort of had already had some sort of plans and not so plans. So anyway, he was sitting and chilling here while I was doing a live, and he was doing some music stuff, and I cut my live out and anything. And then anyway, I was going to go back on. So to the next person, the laptop didn't even get broken while on the live. I came on to say why I wasn't sitting down and starting the first chapter of my book. Dean was sitting down here, so it's low down, and he had the laptop on his legs here, not with this bit here, because I've actually laid all this down. It was just one chair, and that usually goes up the back there like a chair when it's out, when I've got people here and stuff. So it's not actually like this when we're in day mode. So literally, it was one of them fucking hell moments. And as he got up, the lead, look, this is the charger lead that's down here all the time. And as he got up, he literally caught it in the plug. And I was like, for fuck's sake, whatever. What annoyed me is that he wasn't talking about replacing it. And that's what pissed me off. So anyway, let's read this now, the next one. So it wasn't actually done during the live or anything like that. Then I was showing you, and then I said to you on the lives that me and Dean fall out because I have an issue with anybody who faces me up, and also previous trauma from DV, blah, 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 blah. Me and Dean are at the end of the tether of all of this. We've gone all the way through this. We've got goodness knows what's going on. You know, we're trying to move out of this flat. We've got so much fucking stuff going on. We're trying to parent. We're trying to sort our relationship out with all of this crap going on. So, and every time the police turn up, Dean is scared of being taken away, and I'm scared of my kids being taken away. So you cause stress, and then you're the people that are causing the problem in here, that's causing the arguments that then mean that I've then got to knock on my next door neighbour's door because police then fabricate information which we managed to prove wasn't true, which I explained on my live. So it causes constant mayhem. So hence why I shut down and came off my lives, because I thought, fuck you, you cunts. 15th, my birthday, you bastards. I'm going to see you in court, you cunts, when I do freedom of request. Police report received following report that Dad, why not Dean, but Dad, had broken Mum's laptop. Mother reported to the police that it had been done accidentally. I've just shown, he didn't stand up and fucking stamp the fucking shit to bits. He literally caught it in that fucking lead, and it was like, just... You know, look, as soon as it comes, the heat that comes in, and then after that, obviously, I've been fucking fuming, and then he's going on about, like, women that act like men, and, you know, should be treated like men, and women that are actually women should be treated like women, and that we should sit down and talk about it. And obviously, me being a cunt as well with the lives, and it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm getting it from social, I'm getting it from him, I'm getting it from my mum, I'm getting it from not all my family, but some. I told you I blocked, you know, even my 2 older boys just before Christmas, because I knew that I wanted to focus on what I was trying to pull off, knowing full well that it was going to probably even bring me being section detained or arrested. Dean travelled 4 hours for my birthday for me to pull it off and sit with the boys, so I didn't have to go up with Phoebe and the boys and have security and everything with the kids. And for him to say to me, if you do anything that risks the kids, I'm going to kill you, is the right thing to fucking say. Everyone, you can't say that in front of a police officer, but the police officer gets it. Even the police officer apologised to Dean. So anyway, email received from anonymous source reporting concerns Dad had been abusive towards Mum and smashed up her laptop in front of the children during an online video. Look, I'm not being funny, but if you really think I needed the police, do you really think I'd go online? I would ring the fucking police. You dozy cunts. On the 18th of the 5th, additional police reports receiving following the call out regarding of domestic. So now we've got domestic on the 17th. Raised concerns with regards to mother's presentation. Thanks. It was reported that Kelly is difficult to keep to one topic of conversation. Yes, I am fucking autistic, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Email received from an anonymous report concerning online video posted on Mother's last night, following the dispute between Kelly and the children's father. dispute between Kelly and the children's father, Dean, last night, where he had allegedly smashed her laptop and could be heard verbal on the live stream, and the police apparently attended. However, it would appear that the argument continued into the night as Kelly continued to post videos where they could be heard shouting and swearing, and in the night the kids are asleep with others. And actually, sometimes, by the way, my kids go now to Jackie, so they've got a little sofa up there just to give us some space, so you fucking idiots. Dean at one point had been seen pushing her phone away. Well, why wouldn't he? He doesn't want to be on the live. If look, Dean's a DJ, a dancer, an artist. If a reporter goes up to him and puts a fucking camera in it, Dean's going to smash that fucking camera in his face. TC received concerning Elijah and Silo seeing a live Facebook recording, blah, blah, blah. It was reported that children were screaming, mummy, and a man was going up to a woman's face gently in front of the children. It's like, you've just taken one content and turned it into something else. And it's like I said to you, if I wanted the fucking police, I'd ring the fucking police. I wouldn't stay on a fucking live. I would literally just ring the fucking police. I don't have to with Dean. But me and Dean have been together 5 years, not together because we can't live together in this flat. With Dean, you know, trying to pull things off from being on fucking park benches, sleeping on fucking park benches, for fuck's sake. So anyway, carry on from listening to this. That's all they've got. That's it. So anyway, Elijah, developmental needs. Elijah presents as a confident boy who enjoys spending time playing and being outside. While there are no concerns raised with regards to Elijah's development, it would be encouraged that both parents consider a nursery place for Elijah in order to provide with additional opportunities to play, develop, and socialise with other children, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Shiloh Samuel, development needs. Shiloh is quieter than Elijah, and concerns have been raised regarding his speech development, which you all know about, and it's come on, and that was back from fucking right at the beginning. She hasn't even bothered to come out and see me once. So the health visitor hasn't even come out once during all of this. Again, it would be encouraged that both parents consider a nursery place for Shiloh in order to provide him with additional opportunities to play. And let me get my charger in a minute. It's going to go. Again, it would have encouraged both parents consider nursery. So don't forget, Elijah and Shiloh are already registered at David Lloyd's nursery. We're just waiting for him to go back. So what's that? You know, and then it's like, oh, seriously, I've got a whole page to read here, and I just can't be asked. My throat's reading. You can try and get it now, and it's nothing. It's just a regurgitation of all your freaking doodah things. So, and then basically the conclusion is feelings about progress made. Elijah is not the age of child to understand. Shiloh is not of age to understand. Parents feeling. Miss Cotton reports that she does not wish for children's social services involved and wishes it to end. Families' feelings of progress, core members, blah, blah, blah. So basically, like, I've now got to respond to this, and it's like, I'm going to sit there and break this all down and read it to you and put it into a doodah, and it's like, you know, but it's like, you know, contingency plan, should no further change be observed, Kelly, social services may consider seeking legal advice. And it's like, but you're doing it. I showed you that dance video right at the beginning because at the end of the day, that's what all of this was about. Like, at no other point in all of this was I getting any of this shit until I did that video. So that's why it's important that I showed you at the beginning, to show that all of this is surrounding them dates. And all of this is surrounding back on that calendar. Let me just show you a minute. My bum's gone numb, so if I have to roll over a minute, it's because I've got a numb bum and buggered knees. You know, I'm still stuck in here until I got that report. So basically, look. So my light's going to have to turn on, wait. Oh, bear with my light. So behind that poster that you see, seriously, this light is like, I don't know. So, come on, light. Look, it's one of them things that is actually on. So basically on my wall here, it says December up there. So first Sunday the 1st, Sunday the 2nd, Monday the 2nd, Tuesday the 3rd. This is going back December. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 13th. Yeah, my dad's birthday and Faith and Anna's anniversary. On the 14th, security at my door. On the 15th, Dean was home and the police turned up within an hour. I went to see John Wright, my nan's birthday. A gift from Tina, thank you very much, Tina. Paid, and then that's it, straight into this. So basically, all our Christmas completely cancelled, New Year completely cancelled, everything was completely cancelled. And then literally I've waited for this report to come through, and that is pretty much the conclusion of 6 months of my life being on hold, or 5.5 months of my life being on hold. And now I've got to have an online conference with 3 people, which basically will just be about this move. But it's people who are watching my lives who just don't get it, don't get why I'm basically telling you that you're on lockdown. Because back in 2011, when Richard Branson was talking about Starlight and all of that, we were in the room. And this was a 10-year plan, so I knew what was going to happen in 2020. I knew what was going to happen in 2020 back in 2009, 2008, sorry, because in 2008, like, they had the core meeting about it and everyone was talking about it and it was all the big boom. It was all like, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? Could it happen? Is this potential? So when it came to fruition and they got the funding, they knew it was going to take about 10 years to build it. They knew how long it was going to take. So I knew when it was coming. And basically the reason that they had to lock you down is because when this all goes off, there's going to be a magnetic plate change and Plato changes within the magnetic forces as they go through sort of portals and things like that. And this stuff is not crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not on drugs. Yeah, I'm talking truth and fact. I'm talking science to you. You know, on the 27th of May, the rockets are going up. Satellites have had to go up. Thousands and thousands of satellites have had to go up. But in order to make this happen, G5's had to go up. It's had to go up in the hospitals. It's had to go to schools, computer systems, AI. All that stuff is real. All that stuff is real. That doesn't mean I'm on drugs. It doesn't mean I've got mental health. I'm trying to say to you that it all lined up along with the Hollywood that's now gone, really. Hollywood only comes back if we let it. Child grooming only comes back if we let it. All this stuff we can wash out now. All this stuff we can say bye to. That doesn't make me nuts. Just because my kids were taken, and just because I have enough struggles as it is just to get over my physical body. I have enough struggles as it is getting over my own trauma. I have enough trust issues with building a relationship with Dean as it is, without social workers making false allegations, well, police officers making false allegations. It was coming out from, my lovely, you saw me giving a hug the other day, Jesus, if they'd been fucking each other, I'd have nailed. I said that to a social worker. I said, you might not have kids, mate, but 2 women on messing with your fella. Like, seriously, people in this block would have dragged you out the house and nailed you, mate, not even asked you. I said, me just knocking on the door and saying, no, it was, and me staying to Dean. All I said to Dean was, you need to start standing up for me. It's like, I'm the one having to go out here and prove it's not even fucking true and go through the fucking trauma. It's like, people keep making these false allegations, but it's me having to go and prove that it's not true because I got my trust issues as it is. Dean's standing there going, well, you either trust me or you don't. And it's like, well, I won't trust you until I've got evidence to trust you. And it's like, but you people are the ones throwing it. You are the people throwing the arrows, not you all. So don't take it personally if it's not you. But to the person that's doing it, you're about to get freedom of request. Your emails are going to get pulled. So try and crush me because I'm going to look forward to this now. Because I've got literally all this now to bring in. And all them suitcases. You're going to look like fucking idiots. Cunts. Nasty people. Evil people. And people might even start thinking, maybe you're the paedophiles. Not you that I've not got a problem with, but the people causing problems with me. Maybe it's paedophiles doing it. And if that's the case, then I need to also protect my social media and my family and my boys. But why would you sabotage somebody like me unless you agree that it is okay for these people to be trafficking children and for children to be raped, and you like to troll and cause injury to someone like me and problems? So maybe you're a very dark force very satanic. By the grace and the power of the Lord, you're binded, and I forgive you, and may the hot coals come over you this weekend, and the Lord will serve his justice upon you. You know, be careful who you throw rocks and stones at. Be careful who you persecute. We're in a good old, what is it, good old song that Dean listens to. Be careful who you nail upon the cross. Yeah, be careful who you nail upon the cross. He who casts the first stone. I don't beat people up, mate. I'm going to rip you to pieces in my book and in court, and it's all going to be printed up and it's all going to be put in it. But I've got to go and rest my voice. I've got to go and read through all this and start doing all the scripts, and I need to have this all ready by Monday morning. Any person who's got any laws, anything, I'm going for full fucking crushing. I'm going for full crushing. I've had enough of this now. I've had enough of this now. It doesn't even mention anything about me being an EDS mother. Nothing. 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 It's like, nothing. Like, seriously, now it's my turn to write a report on how this should be written. So to any person out there who's pro, who knows what they're doing, let's, like, fucking deal with it. And in terms of me and Dean, we need a big fucking house where his music studio is over there. My little library with all my quiet space book is over that side. The kitchen is in the fucking middle where we all meet in the middle. And then we have the DVD room where we all sit down and lounge around, and the garden to be with. But he is literally honed into his music all day. And if you watch a video with two Asperger's people living together, they literally live independent, separate lives. And that's how it works. And they co-create between each other, and it works hand in hand. But it's different, and it's different to the outside world because we're not 9-to-5ers. We don't get up, go to work for 9 to 5. And neither do you guys anymore. Dean's an artist. So am I. And, you know, just because my body's a bit different, Dean's got a pin in his leg, so it's just as hard. You know, he's an ex-break dancer. He smashed crazy legs, but he also smashed his leg. So, you know, don't give Dean a hard time, because at the end of the day, like, he's really shy, and it's hard enough to deal with me living and shit like that. And he just comes home to spend time with his family, and he wants to make things work with us. But every time you people send the police, it's like just as he gets here as well. It's always just as he gets there. So this might not even be about me. This could even be about what Dean does. Yeah, music. Can't see me behind my ironing board. You see behind my ironing board? You know, so it can be personal to Dean, because it's only ever, as soon as Dean gets home, the police always turn up, like, literally just as he gets there. So anyway, it's only happened since Christmas, and then he got here, and then obviously he got here to help me look after the kids. And he willingly did, and he even said, your dancing has improved. I said, no, my confidence has improved. And he went, okay. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to go, and may the Lord bless you or curse you, depending on whether you help or hinder people. Ask yourself, are you being constructive or destructive? Are you helping or are you hindering? And if you're not helping, then step back. And if you're hindering, ask yourself why you want to be a cunt. Because we all got to get on right now, and there's a lot of things happening from a lot of different angles. And you know, if you're a true friend who cares about me, then you see this thing I'm live into you on. It has a telephone number. Ring it. Hey, Kel, how you doing? And if you don't have my telephone number, then clearly you're not a friend of mine, or you've never actually asked for my telephone number and thought you can ring me, and maybe can. But also be aware that I'm in my private home. This is my private home, and I'm not in my office. I'm not out and about. I'm in my private home, in my private space. And my children are very safe, and they love their father. They love their father. They adore their father. You hear it on lives. It's that daddy. They adore their dad. Police, social workers, you met a lioness mother. That also meant you met a lioness wife. Whether we get married in 2 months' time or not, after 5 years, Dean is my children's father. And I will protect him and my children and their relationship until the day that I die, because that's the job as my mother. if he fucks up, I'm going to make him fucking pay for it and be a father to his children. If he wants to run away from his obligations, I'm going to go and get him and bring him back to his children. You know, if he feels that he can't be here because he doesn't want the police to turn up and him then reacts, and he's, you know, he was in prison innocent prior to all of this, you know this, so why would you want to do that to him? So at the end of the day, Dean is a human being who doesn't deserve to be sleeping on benches right now and squats, and you know, people who help him out because they find him on park benches asleep during the night because he's not at home, because he's Asperger's as well and can't cope with everything the same as what I show you that I can't cope with. But we can't get it right together in this place because there's no bed to get up in the morning, there's no routine and structure, and not because we can't achieve that with two very highly intelligent people. It's just, it's never fucking ending. So, you know, I'm going to stop doing lives and I'm going to start, as I have done. While I haven't been living, I've been recording, I've been putting the records on, I've been doing the videos, I've been still talking. In fact, I've been talking more deeper because I don't get the interruptions and I can talk without not knowing who's there. And I'm just going to continue with what I should be doing. And every Saturday I will release that video and start getting back to try to edit it. I've got to make a laptop a priority now, as well as my tyres. Without those two things, I can't really function anyway. So whatever happens money-wise, I've just got to go with what I've got to go with and move forward. So, and wait for call meeting, which is, I can't remember now. It's the 27th or the 28th. I can't remember. It's one of them two dates. I've got the paperwork over there. So, yeah, unless wardrobes and drawers turn up on my free cycle or my doodah thing, then I've nowhere to really put some stuff. But this is all winter clear out, by the way, ready for summer. As you can see, I'm sorting through clothes, and I've been in clothes today, but still got my hat on. So anyway, guys, I think one thing is clear. Social workers ain't going out there and getting the fucking information unless it's a social worker watching me, and if it is, like, seriously. But I have a feeling it's got something to do with somebody I know, and if it is, like, God help her, and if it's not, whatever. So anyway, I've just got to sort out my stuff, sort out my car insurance, sort out my car tax, move everything to private people, try and find people that I know locally that got small businesses rather than big firms, do my shopping, do my budgeting, and work out how I'm going to make money from here, because I just don't want to be on government and state benefits. I just don't want to be in this hole where they have access to my home like this. I want to be in a home where I have my fucking gates and my Rottweilers, and you don't get past my fucking gate unless my solicitor tells you to, and that's the way I want it. So